Friends of Frisbee, welcome back to round 6, day 1 of the New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2. We have our showcase game between two very, very strong teams. Credo.
Yeah, so here we have Captain Samuel Lenartz and Catherine Teo. We have Tiarafai McGuinness and Theo McIntosh. Oh, sorry, Tiarafai is sitting in as Spirit Captain today. Thomas Bourdain, Esther Leong, Ben Jar, Ziwai Wong, Justin Lee, Adam Manang, Samantha Cordine, Samuel Aguilar, Natalie Tiang, Gabriel Foster, Petra Radmanovic, Ty Lawson and Caleb Milne. And that is Credo.
And their opponents for this showcase game, Hot Slice of VJ, Captain Emma Menzies, Ken Lee, Sarah Chow, Chloe Topping, Guyon Lang, Dylan Lai, Alan Sun, Lok Kwok, Rain Santillion, Timothy Sinclair, David Chen, Awal Singh, Winnie Chong, Priscilla Yu, and Michelle Poon. My name is Blair Monroe, and I'm here in the booth
with Toby Sutherland.
And we will be your eyes and ears on the field, giving you our guidance, our insight, and play-by-play as these two teams showcase in the final match of day 1 of our New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2 tournament.
Yeah, this is a really exciting one actually, because we've got some of the top-rated teams here. These are high-seed teams, and so we should be in for a real goodie. The conditions have settled just enough that we're going to see some really good normal Frisbee, well, close to normal Frisbee out of them with the high-skilled players, high-skilled teams.
Looks like Credo are going to be coming out on defense against the Hot Slice of VJ O-line. It's been a very, very windy day today here in Christchurch. We've typically had predominantly winds moving from the left side of your screen towards the right, although that has been quite changeable. It has tested teams in our last 2 streamed games, pushed them to their absolute limits of their throwing abilities. It seems to have died down a little bit, but that is yet to change as the sun goes down. We don't know what it's going to do in terms of wind. So this could either be some very, very clean offense or great opportunities for these teams to show off their defensive skills.
Yeah, it's been very variable the whole day, and so no one quite knows what will happen. But for the start, we can see the pool's made a reasonable way down the field, so it's at least playable conditions. Some nice swings, centering, just settle in passes for now, so this is good to see. We always like to see just some simple kind of settle in ultimate at the start of a game. Just make sure the catches and the resets are happening well. It's a pivotal part for offenses.
VJ Singh managing to find Alan Sun, who looks to dish the disc back, setting up a nice centered offense. Patience, but good disc movement. Run through D from Credo, a great opportunity for a first defensive break of the game. The score still 0-all, but no hesitation at all. Bourdain looking to quickly turn the tide and establish some momentum for the Credo side.
Yeah, he's done really well there. He saw the play coming and just snuck through. So this is Teo on the sideline centering to Lenartz. Lenartz is looking big already.
A big shot, but it's got a lot of edge. It's coming down just outside the hands of Bourdain again. Back on defense for the Credo side. So
we see a little bit of a junky defense coming out here with some of the girls making some of the handlers. It's a division of labor here where everyone kind of switches players rather than picking one particular person to mark.
Dylan Lai pressured by that cup, manages to get a high release forehand over to the far side, finding Alan Sun looking for something. Singh, the man for whom the team is named, pressured by that Credo cup. Looking directly behind, manages to find a quick reset. Scuba over the top, finds the turf. Another opportunity for the Credo side, for the defensive line to close out this point and take an early lead in the game.
Yeah, we're going to need to see a little more patience on offense from the Hot Slice. They're clearly a little bit frustrated by the stifling kind of defense that Credo have been putting out. Credo showing some promise on offense here though, a lot of gainers already. They might be able to keep this momentum going. It's just snuck up in the wind there. And that will be a turnover.
And again, the disc will come in where it crossed the line, but for all of those gainers Credo managed to pull through. There's a slight loss of yardage there. A nice opportunity, but VJ are pinned currently on what we would call the low sideline. So the near sideline, there's a bit of a crosswind. The wind is pushing towards the near sideline, and that's adding a bit of pressure.
Yeah, that was well covered by the defender. There was no real play at that for the offensive player, unfortunately. But, oh, we just need to reset the scores here, actually. But we've had an exciting first few minutes of play. The pace has been significantly higher than the previous games where the wind was more stifling for the teams, and this has come out at quite an exciting pace so far. A step up possibly than the previous games that both of these teams have played. All very contested, but a really nice save ultimately. He's collected himself.
Dylan Lai without sleeves. Looking for something, signaling where he wants his players to go. Fake doesn't pull the defense out of the way, but managed to get a high floaty forehand just out of bounds. Allenson looking to close out that first point, doesn't manage it. Back on defense now.
Yeah, Linart's picking up the disc. He's a centre point for the Credo offense here, so we're going to see a lot of him this game. Teo is the obvious swing option here for the infield pass, and that's likely to go quite early if he doesn't see anything downfield straight away.
Massive, massive backhand up the field, but it's intercepted by, again, VJ himself. A big huck, but again out of bounds. Just getting carried outside of the boundary of our playing field, and it's another opportunity for Credo to close out this first point, already 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah, we might be seeing some trickiness with the wind here, where it's coming around the stands in a peculiar way, because we've seen a couple of throws fade out that side now. It'll be interesting to see how that continues throughout the game. Long walk up here for Linart, so we'll see if he takes another big shot immediately. Given that last one didn't quite work out, we might see something more conservative. No, he's got a game plan in mind.
Allenson tips, but a layout bid not quite enough to keep the disc alive, as the first point of contact after sustained control of the disc was out of bounds. Dylan Lai again on the far sideline this time, looking for something, trying to shift his mark. A nice forehand, just kept in bounds. VJ going to be looking to recenter the disc. No, continuing pushing up that far sideline for the first score of the game.
Yeah, it's a great pickup actually. Like it's quite hard when you're running with the disc like that to kind of bend over and just like catch it as you go. So that's it's a great point to start off after a lot of contested ultimate actually.
So now Hot Slice of VJ giving the signal for the gender split for the next point, coming down on defense.
And enjoying the downwind point now.
Absolutely. It will make things a little bit easier. Strong enough downwinds. If you're playing downwind, you can often just let go of the disc and let it carry it sort of 30, 40 meters downfield. And as long as you've got one of your receivers primed and ready for it, it's an easy opportunity to gain large distance. The opposite side of that, I guess, is that it means that our Credo team now have to work upwind. So it's going to put a lot more pressure on them as throwers, and also it's going to require a lot more coordination between their players to make sure that those connections come off.
Yeah, we might see some strategical plays for territory here. We saw some gesturing from the lines, and there's definitely some plans being laid by the Credo team. They've got something in mind, and we'll get
Lead
to
with a
see in
hand,
moment.
looking for the pull, sends it low, bit of a slider, just beyond the halfway mark. It's going to give the Hot Slice of VJ plenty of time to establish their defense. It looks like they are setting up a zone, something like a 2-3-2. So they've got two players in the deep, two players marking the disc. It's not enough to stop the shot going up. A big huck, overthrown. In the cool weather, he decided to put some heat on, and it carries it out the back line.
Yeah, that one was definitely too spicy. But I think that does give us an indication of what we're looking at strategy-wise this game. It looks like there definitely was a play for territory. There was a player that was an option, obviously. There was a receiver there, but the decision of option was definitely put it. And it looks like a match defense has been chosen by Credo, which is interesting because we've seen a lot of zone today to try and use that wind.
Dylan Lai with the disc in the danger zone in Callahan country. Oh, blocked but kept alive. A low release forehand. On the near sideline now, battling against the wind. trying to shift his mark, looking for something, looking for anything.
We've got a stall call here. Looks uncontested. An uncontested stall like that is very unusual to see.
As much movement as we were seeing Lee make on the disc, it was not enough to get him free of his mark, and 10 seconds was all it took to get a quick turn in the danger zone.
Yeah, Credo have done a better job getting it off that side and trying to move it around to give themselves a little bit more time just to kind of find some options downfield. A little lefty backhand, a little cheeky one, doesn't quite sit with the wind and just goes to ground before Sam Cording can get there.
And Sam Cording was one of the players on, I believe, Mobility. It was Mobility Scooper or Mixtape from last year's Division 1. Did a fantastic job, really displayed a lot of athleticism and fitness. And it could just be that at the end of the day, there's a lot of fatigue that's starting to build up. Linnett goes up, takes an elevator to the 21st floor, menswear, spikes the disc to the ground.
Huge windmill spike to get that one down, and now he gets to pick it up. Let's see what he can do with it, though. We've been seeing a lot of movement from the handlers, but we're waiting to see what eventuates downfield. Oh, and there we go. A cut actually coming from the handler.
Absolutely beautiful score.
Great work by Manang. Yeah, he's just towed that one in just.
We can see here putting the freeze on his defender.
Oh no, they've called it not in, unfortunately. He must have been on the line. Oh,
and that's enough. When the play goes back and resumes, a wide swing with the forehand, but it comes in too low, touches turf, giving VJ an opportunity to bring the score back to 1-1.
Yeah, it's unfortunate after having that one just not quite in and then ended up with a turn on that shot.
Lee with a forehand, recenters the disc. Priscilla Yu looking on the near sideline now, getting the disc across. Goes beyond the hands.
Well collected there. That was Poon just snaking a really contested disc.
Back to Lee, to Lai. Playing without sleeves like Christchurch's favourite son, Matt Dole.
Yeah, a well-known character.
Maybe he's hoping to channel some of that intense defensive spirit that we've seen from Mr. Dole by not wearing sleeves during this showcase game.
Yeah, well, Linnett's here has extra sleeves, so we'll see if he can make use of those. Oh, big shot down towards the end zone. Who's the receiver under this? Looks like Tiarafai. Oh, I can't quite get there.
Again, just one of those instances where if the field had maybe been a little bit longer, or if the offensive receiver had just had an extra couple of seconds head start.
Yeah, I like the look though. It had a lot of like float around it and fairly nicely. It just looked like it lifted away on the wind there. It's hard to judge obviously, but I like that they're giving themselves these opportunities because they've been putting a lot of pressure on with this match defense, and Hot Slice have been finding it hard getting up the field.
Lee at the end zone line, just as he's spent a lot of time so far, unable to get the wide shot around. The wind picks it up, pushes it up. Credo defender comes and brings it back to turf. Lie on defense. Manang overthrows.
Yeah, that one's drifted well wide. It's a high release that he's fairly comfortable with generally, but I think the conditions are definitely putting challenges on these familiar throws for some players. You can see he's in good spirits after that though.
A big fake to shift the defender. It's not quite enough. Looking to reset without, and the disc goes straight to ground. A great opportunity for Credo.
Yeah, Hot Slice, if they want to take this game, they're definitely going to have to tidy up these resets. It's fundamental.
Sam Linnett's looking for the Credo score. Finding something. Wide pivot. It takes him well off balance, but it's a completion.
That's Essa Leong grabbing that there for the score, and that's a really nice little break cut just to get free. Just using a bit of pace, sneak away from the defender. Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see if Hot Slice can sort out these issues they're having with the centering resets. The mid-level players are standing quite far away and are making it intimidating for the throw on the sideline to actually get it that far, and they might need to have a little chat about this at some point to figure out their strategy exactly.
The score currently 1-1. Hot Slice of VJ setting up their offensive line as Credo, fresh off a score, will be sending down their defensive line, trying to arrest any momentum that VJ want to build. Some very, very confident players on the VJ line. Standing now ready, a little bit of communication, having a chat. Manang with the disc, looking to set up the pull. Just quick discussion of strategy with his team. Spirits are still high. We're not seeing any frowny faces yet, which is absolutely key for the early points of a game, especially one that's this closely contested.
This is Manang with the pull. He's got his hand up waiting ready for the signal from the other team. Here we go.
Absolute monster send. Touching down just inside, perhaps a bit too much meat, comes in a bit low. A little bit of rollback keeps it short of halfway, which is a great opportunity for VJ. It's just that many more meters they don't have to make on their own. Finding a reset. Alan Sun, a confident thrower.
Yeah, they're looking for these options downfield. They haven't quite found anything yet, but the handler movement's looking really good here. They're getting the resets that they need. They've just got to use calm heads, figure out what's happening downfield with this tricky defense, try and make some opportunities for themselves to gain some yards.
Looks to be the partnership of Kwok and Sun looking to do most of the disc movement. It's not quite enough, just outside of Alan Sun's lanky limbs. The disc goes to ground. He'll be marking up against Manang, trying to stop them making any progress up the field.
Well, Teo's made a good upline cut there, but I think she might have just ducked out.
Sarah Chow making a confusing call, trying to signal that the disc was in.
It's tricky to communicate that you are currently out, but we're in.
But again, it's a wonderful testament to the spirit of these players that they're all coming to the correct conclusion with a smile. As Credo begin working, Manang finding the disc in the center, marked by Alan Sun. A lot of pressure on there.
Well, it's
just over the tips. Santillion to pick up the disc for VJ, looking for something.
Found nothing.
Kwok right behind, and Alan Sun looking to make moves.
Oh, it's a great pickup. It's a huge mark from Justin Lee. He's a really large wingspan player, and it can be quite hard to throw around him, so she's done well to get that throw off.
Sun signaling for people to cut towards him, drops the disc right back behind and finds an easy gain. A powerful forehand, the full length of the field.
That is a
solid
throw.
5-6 meters at least in front of the intended receiver.
That's a huge throw. That's a fantastic option as well. Like, you've got to show that that threat exists. We haven't seen much out of that, out of Hot Slice for that sort of option, and it's really good to keep the defenders honest.
Absolutely beautiful throw. But again, instead of the score, it's just going to be territory for Hot Slice to VJ as they bring down the same defense that's managed to slow the powerhouse that is Credo. And a run through D from Santillion again means that territorial power flick has resulted in a possession. Sarah Chow to pick up, looking for something. Still holding the disc, looking for an around. Finds Kwok. High release backhand. Alan Sun keeps it alive. There's the second score for the Hot Slice of VJ, taking it to 2-1 against Credo.
Yeah, that's a great effort by Bourdon to try and get in the way there, but he just got stepped. He wasn't quite keeping eyes on his player, and it's a great grab to catch it that low to the ground. He's done really well.
Priscilla Yu and Santillion on the sideline doing a little bit of a dance. A nice sideshow display for the audience here, as the 7 who are taking the line, maintaining their game focus. Alan Sun taking a knee, providing a little bit of off-field support to the 7 on the line. We can see Guyon Lang, Dylan Lai looking to pull. Sleeves are only going to get in his way.
Yeah, it's good to see them punching some in as well. It's obviously important to put away your points, like your offensive points, quickly. When you've got this wind advantage, you really want to have time to work on these upwinds.
He was giving the signal for VJ's readiness. He's seen the responding signal.
Oh, that's big. It's coming down towards
A
us.
huge high pull. What little wind there is, it's lower at the surface, but the higher up you go, the more impact it's going to have on the disc. And so this is a great opportunity for our Credo offensive line to be able to close out this point and bring back the game to a 2-all scoreline.
Yeah, it'll be Leonard's picking up what someone knows.
Santillion on the sideline. Cheeky smiles for the camera, doing her part to signal where the disc exited the field. Sam Linnets to bring it back. Finds a reset in Manang around the far side, but he's looked off. Sam Linnets making great handler movement.
Power position, but no one there yet. Goes for a big break. Unfortunately, finds some traffic coming through, and a hot slice defender just slams that one down.
Dylan Lai with what almost looked like a crotch chop to knock that disc to the ground says, not today. He'll pick up the disc right on the VJ's defensive end zone. Signaling for cuts, signaling for something.
Yeah, it looks like more junk out of Credo, so it's going to continue confusing hot slice while they figure this one out. Some discussion here
Found
about...
Singh, finds Guyon Lang on the far sideline, but it looks like he might have been out. The players are having a discussion. So once again, we're seeing Lai, and a round break, backhand to find Vijay Singh. Comes up, and his foot looks to be on the white line.
Yeah, he might have just landed out there, but it's always hard to tell in the moment. I think they've given him benefit of the doubt, which is the correct thing to do for the offensive player in Ultimate. I think it's going to work out fine, because as they say, the disc doesn't lie, so it turns around immediately. A bit of miscommunication on that. Having the hot slice of VJ players running through. Oh, fantastic D.
Absolutely right. Guyon Lang, conservation of greatness. There was a questionable call as to whether or not he was in or out, but he's able to come through and really represent and really prove himself with a high-flying defensive block that sends the disc well out of bounds.
Yeah, no, he saw that one out safely. It's going to be really interesting to see if we can get this centering movement for a hot slice now, because this is the exact position they've had some trouble with. Oh, it's the same issue. We've got a little bit of crossfield coming out here, though. This might find a player. There's a lot under it, a lot of hot slice bodies. Oh, it almost worked out for them. It just sneak away.
Sam Linnets going up into double coverage. Nearly manages it on the second bid to keep the disc alive for VJ. Manang marked by Lai, but he gets the around back forehand off.
Oh, that's
a comfortable
easy
score for Credo.
Yeah, it looks like Benjaz just reeled that one in.
Nice give and go movement. Manang just waiting for something. Big shot up the far sideline. Easily done, bringing the scoreline back up to 2-2 as Credo bring their defensive line back out. We are 22 minutes into the game. The wind and the amount of defensive pressure that both teams are pouring on might keep it a low-scoring game, but that does not mean that it's a low-intensity game.
Yeah, well, we can see some of these big throws coming out. We can see the big throws coming out and making it at least a halfway, so we can see some big shots here. There's no reason we can't. And I think we will see some. Sam Linnets has proven he's not afraid of sending some a long way, and we've definitely seen that Hot Slice is named well, because their Hot Slice of VJ has been putting them too. We'll see what Linnets has got in store for a pull for us. But first, some tactical discussions from Teo. Get everyone on the same page about this upwind point. It's obviously important to score your upwind breaks, and it could end up being a factor in this game if the wind picks up again in that direction.
But as VJ and Credo are trading, every defensive point that played represents an opportunity to break and really widen up the score, which is a necessary thing to win a game. A nice bit of roll, which means that VJ can't get into position on offense just that extra few seconds, which gives Credo an opportunity to set up their zoney defense.
Oh,
Light breaks over the top anyway.
Yeah, they've done well to find a player there. They weren't looking for a swing even though the player was open, and so they've done... Oh,
and Lonsan to
snuck away on the
Bourdain takes the high disc over the top. Wants to send a forehand, has to put it back in the holster, resets, finds Linnarts. Alan's son puts the roof on. Quick give and goes, finding a bit of position in the center of the field, looking for something. Drops the disc back to Kwok. Fakes off on the near sideline, looking for something. Huge wings, putting a lot of pressure on from the Credo defender. Goes over the top, finds Dylan Lai. Winds up a big backhand, holds back, looking for something. Finds Kwok again, and Lai around the other side of the mark, broken. Onto the near side.
Just fumbled, or just a low grab there, just kind of drifted too low. Lennox will pick it up though and reply. And so Bourdain swinging the disc across the Teo.
Priscilla Yu on the mark. High backhand and a good bid, but
looks like pain on the arm there. He might have just landed on his wrist. We'll just have to check he's okay.
Maybe not the best of bids. They'll have a bit of a discussion. So Sinclair on the mark, Lennartz to Bourdain, Teo, Priscilla Yu on the mark. A lot of pressure. It's a high release backhand. And it looks as though the Credo bid for the disc looked more defensive than anything else. Didn't look like he was going for a grab so much as a block. Dylan Lai with a forehand. Comfortable score.
That's a fantastic open side. Easy separation. Managed to punch that one nicely. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Hot Slice can actually solve this junk. One of the things with junk is that you mix up your gender matches so that some of the females will mark handlers that are male handlers, for example, or some of the males or vice versa on the females in it. And it just makes it a little bit harder to find the matchups that you're after. You have to identify the mismatches and bits, like different options on the field that you would normally look for. It's something that definitely takes a bit of concentration and focus when you're out there.
Topping with a nice score for Hot Slicer VJ. She'll be pleased with herself opening up that to the 2-all game to a narrow lead with a 3-2. But again, VJ to bring out a powerful defensive line, some very confident athletic players looking to get a secure break on this next point and really widen that up. Credo looking to do anything to stop that from happening. They're sending out a very, very good offensive line, some very fast, very disc secure people, very confident hands for catching and throwing. It's going to be a great point to see.
Yeah, I'm excited by this Credo line, actually. This is a line of some of the best offensive female players we'll see at this tournament, actually. Some of these are incredibly good receivers, incredibly fast runners. I'll be interested to see how they can use it, actually. I'm expecting to see Manang and Lennart's handling. But
Lee again with a low pull, not quite the right amount of roll. It ends up coming back towards them. It's a good opportunity for Credo now. They're only maybe 20 meters away from their end zone, not too far from the brick mark. And so Credo casually walking up under no pressure at all. Lennartz to pick up. Very busy defense from Hot Slicer VJ, but it's not enough. He dishes back and gets fouled on the far sideline looking for something. A big backhand with a lot of edge to go full cross field. Blocked by Hot Slicer VJ, but Cording manages to keep the toes in bounds for the grab. What an absolute exhibition of bodily awareness, field awareness. No hesitation.
She's done fantastically there. Yeah, Cording got a little bit lucky. Obviously, it's a case of HUDs, but
I would not call that luck at all. A disc is catchable until it touches the ground. That was pure skill. Credo now to come off the back of that beautiful catch with their defensive line. Hot Slicer VJ looking for an offensive hold to maintain the 1-point lead that they managed to claw away from the Credo side.
Yeah, it was interesting to see a zone defense for Credo's downwind point, actually. It did have the effect of stopping those strong female cutters, but it was thrown around in the end, so it'll be interesting to see if they continue with that throughout the rest of the game. So far, it's still very even. Both teams are scoring their points. It looks like both teams are quite comfortable. I think the only thing we really need to see is just that reset from the sideline for Hot Slice. It's the only thing holding them back, I think, from being able to maybe push away with a lead here.
Manang again, one of the key pullers for the Credo defensive line on our near sideline, just lining up with the disc, talking a little bit of strategy, planning how the most important throw of the point in some cases is going to go off. A big send.
Well, that's rolling well. That's
Beautiful.
down to almost enemy brick mark.
Touching down on the near side of the field in the opposing half, and with a little bit of roll, which gives the Credo defense just enough time to get set up and really arrest some of the momentum that Hot Slice of VJ manage. And there's a foul called. Sarah Chow with the disc, sending it through. Dylan Lai looking for a nice, quick 5-meter gainer, but interference from Menang. A foul was called. It's been uncontested, so Dylan Lai will retain possession of the disc.
Yeah, it was immediately resolved, and they're back to it. And wow, that's an unfortunate drop. Just bobbled over, just slightly higher than she expected, I believe. Credo taking it slow though to get back down the field. Teo passing through the middle here. And we find Menang again on the side. He's put one down the sideline. It's just not quite going to make it. Just drifting down before Courting can get there.
Now, from what I've seen of Samantha Courting, she can put the burners on and catch just about anything, but it does require a little bit of kindness from the thrower. VJ going to use this as an opportunity.
Huge by Theo. Huge, huge, huge.
Courting finds Menang. Finds Kat Teo. Looking for something. Menang unmarked currently. Disc goes high. And Guyon Lang manages to pull that one down. A great opportunity for VJ now. Big, huge forehand, looking to send it. It just coming in, and it's just outside of Chow's range. Looks to have been overcooked a little bit.
Can't quite get there, but good territory. Good territory. There's definitely given themselves the opportunity to generate a turn on the goal line here. As yeah, it was unfortunate that Menang got so free and Teo's just slightly drifted high over him. Credo's been moving it well though. A lot of fast movement. Looks like to see if they can continue down the field here.
Guyon Lang looking to mark.
Menang slightly off the line.
A little bit of miscommunication, but it's cleared up. Guyon Lang looking to mark Menang, trying to shift him. It's not quite enough to get off the power backhand he was looking for, so he has to reset to Teo. Disc comes low, but it's kept alive.
Nice pick up by Aguilar and just dropped out there by McGuinness.
Just a tiny bit of edge on that disc, maybe a little bit much. It curved back and came down short. Dylan Lai doing a lot of the offensive work for this this Hot Slice of VJ line.
Oh, huge bid.
That's the kind of bid that a stunt coordinator couldn't hope to write.
Well, that's amazing. That's snuck through there. That's a huge bid by McIntosh, and he's just missed it. And then I think we've ended up with two players around the disc. And
a big send looks to be off mark, but Sinclair manages to edge out position and secure that point for Hot Slice of VJ, taking the score to 4-3. 32 minutes into the game. Still only 1 point in it.
Yeah, it's great to see some good movement. With the wind kind of coming down, we've actually ended up with some really nice evening conditions here for some just high quality ultimate. We can see the teams are both moving it well, and we've got some great players coming out, some huge bids, so I'm excited to see what the rest of the game brings. I'm hoping we'll get the full 90 minutes here. It seems like it's a great competition we can enjoy.
VJ once again to send out a defensive line. We've got Alan Sun with the disc, looking to line up for the pull. That's a forehand grip, which is not commonly seen. Oh no, he has decided he's going to go for a backhand instead. He's very, very confident with his forehand pulls, Mr. Sun is, but he's deciding that maybe in these slightly questionable conditions he'll go for something a little bit more conventional and trust his experience and skill with the disc to really apply a lot of additional defensive pressure by the time VJ get down and start marking the Credo offense.
Yeah, well, this is another opportunity for us to see if they go with that same zone for marking Credo's downwind points here. That's a really nice roller pull. It's actually going to make good distance before it's fielded by Leong. It seems like Menang and Lenartz will be the same handler pair joined by Foster. So it looks like a horizontal, and yeah, the same zone. It's going to be thrown over again. It's just tipped down there at the end there. Unfortunate. It was Ty Lawson's. It was close to snagging that one, but didn't quite make it. He's a brilliant up-and-coming player, actually. He's been playing in the youth leagues recently, and he's just been playing with Credo this season. He's been really making a name for himself. He's really picking up the game fast, really good head on his shoulders.
Lee to pick up for VJ, looking for something. Same as always. It's that corner of death. They're just managing to get trapped, but they're bouncing through. Finds Chong. To Menzies, but there's a turn. Lennart's to pick up.
He sees something he wants, and he's found it. This time Lawson's safe as houses. Scores it in the corner of the end zone.
It's twice we've seen Sam Lennart's lose balance on that low release flicker, but he manages to get the score off it.
He seems to have developed a falling style. I don't know if they'll teach that anymore, but it's proven effective at the moment.
And it's one of those perils when you've got so much defensive pressure being poured on by a team like Hot Slicer VJ, you have to make sure that those disc releases are coming through low enough to get outside of the potential range that the Mark's arms could occupy. And so he's having to go to ground on the release of the disc just to make sure that it can go as low as possible and as clean as possible to bypass the Mark and get to that open break side where the Credo player is undefended.
Yeah, it's a good choice to get right out wide, but it does leave you very committed. If that throw for whatever reason can't go, then you're on your ass and you're getting stalled at the same time. So it's definitely a choice you have to make with certainty. It's working well for him though, and we'll see a lot more out of Lennart's. He's definitely a centerpiece for the offense for Credo at the moment.
Sam Lennart's the go big or go home man of the match so far, doing some fantastic work on the Credo offense, coming out on the defensive line now as the score is 4-4. Another roller pull crossing the halfway line just in front of the opposition brick mark. Hot Slicer VJ picking up the disc, coming out in what looks to be a horizontal stack. Dylan Lai threads one through.
Great find through the middle, but they can't keep the momentum going just yet. They've just got to find a few more free players to just keep that bouncing along. Oh, here we go. There's a little bit of momentum. They've got to look for that sideline. Big shot goes up, just not quite making it over McIntosh. He's done a great job getting in the way there. McIntosh is a fantastic young player. He's proven to be really dangerous on the field with his athleticism. He recently injured his hand and had to sit out for quite a while, but it seems he's come back in full force actually. He's been having a very good day today. I heard from Caleb, who's been doing some stats keeping while injured, that McIntosh is one of the highest scorers on the Credo team at the moment.
Sam Lennart's with the disc marked by Guyon Lang, keeping busy. Those low knees, a nice athletic stance. The stall count getting a little bit higher, a low release backhand, but it's kept alive. Cat Teo by Credo. Disc goes just above the fingertips. A very late bid, but an impressive effort nonetheless, trying to keep the disc off the grass. VJ with a great opportunity. Dylan Lai looking to pick up. A nice cut to the near sideline, gets looked off. Lai goes for something high.
Oh, just drifted out. Yeah,
Crossbar challenge achieved.
Yeah, nothing eventuating, but he didn't look for a swing. He just looked for another shot over. It's kind of interesting that they aren't favouring those early swings to the middle. It's definitely a stylistic difference between the teams here. They almost came off actually. That rugby post is quite close to the back of the end zone. He may have made a bit of that with his toes if he was just a little closer.
Sam Lennart's with a cheeky tap on the goalpost, thanking it for keeping that disc out of the hands of Guyon Lang, who would have otherwise opened up this score. It's a great opportunity now for Lennart's, who's looking to wind up something big. You can see it in his eyes. He's looking deep. A low backhand, but a comfortable 15 metres gained.
Recess to Lennart's in the middle. I think he's looking for another downfield gainer. Here it comes. McIntosh again.
Too much edge, and that is a taco disc. It is coming up to dinner time here in Christchurch. So that disc is probably unplayable now. They'll seek to switch discs.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see the result of the discussion here, because it looks like they're talking about whether he had possession, but if you've tacoed the disc that hard, it's unlikely you had control of it through the whole motion. It'll be interesting to see what they decide here. Alright, so it looks like there will be a turnover after all. which is the correct result, and we have a flat disc.
So Hot Slicer VJ to establish their offense again. Number 5 for Hot Slicer VJ. Kwok swinging to the near sideline, comes off the intended receiver. Menzies' arms, goes to ground. Lenart's to pick up, centers to Teo.
Teo's going to look wide to Bourdon, but then looks him off despite his apparent freeness. She wants something else on the field. So we're going down to Cordine, who's then going to look, swing a bit further. Whoa, just snagged by Lee. He's going to keep the disc alive. Looks like nothing quite eventuating downfield, so it's gone up in the air. It's going to be floaties. Who can get under it here? Looks like Teo's read that well, and she's kept it alive. Back to Lenartz, who's just going to bang it. Looks like
a little
Lee
bit much edge. Keeps it out of the hands of the intended receiver. So it's a territorial game, but it's an opportunity now for VJ with another possession.
All right, Lee's setting up on the mark, and so we can see already that this is a junk defense because we've got marks setting up without even knowing who they're marking exactly. So now Teo's switched over, Lee's switched across, and there's a lot of pressure on that reset.
Lai signaling to Kwok where he wants him to go, breaking through the zone slowly now, finds Santillion, swings to the far sideline for Lai again. Massive low shot, straight into the hands of Credo. Lenart's on the near sideline looking for something.
McIntosh has made a great downfield shot here to Cordine. Cordine's reeled it in close to the sideline. She's going to that finishing
comfortable
pass.
Backhand for the score.
And that's an upwind. There's a huge celebration coming from Credo. They know what they've done. That's a big break upwind.
And the key with an upwind break like that is that it means their opposition now have to work the entire field upwind to try and do the same to score off that. Considering the amount of pressure that Credo have been able to put on defense thus far, they can generate the turns, and if they generate a turn on this point, those power throwers like Lenartz and Menang can quite comfortably just send the disc the full length of the field as long as they've got a receiver there for it. And we've already seen what kind of legs McIntosh has and Cording has. Credo definitely have the energy and the speed to get open on a point like this one. Yeah,
no, this is a huge point for Hot Slice now. It looks like a timeout might have been called actually. There's big gatherings coming up here. It's definitely a huge point for Hot Slice. They've got to assert themselves in this game and try and get back in it. So I think it's definitely an important time for them to try and make strong attempts at this upwind. Yeah, the wind's definitely settled down now to a playable level. It's quite consistent now as well. It's coming from a direction where the players can actually measure what they're throwing. And before we were getting a lot of swirls around the stands, and then we were getting really strong gusts down the field. But now it's a much more consistent breeze along the field, and I think players are starting to figure out how they can throw in it. We've seen a lot of shots coming from Lenartz, and they haven't been the prettiest, but the receivers have all been there. It's definitely paying off for them as we see. Like we've just had a turn near the end zone, and they've actually managed to convert it.
So Credo looking to maintain the energy and the intensity that they generated after that quick score. Using this timeout mainly to keep heads in the game as opposed to having to talk strategy, as opposed to having to necessarily plan anything out. And there's quite a benefit often to taking a timeout with the intent of maintaining that energy. Maintaining a psychological advantage going into the rest of the game. So potentially either 3 or 4 points away from half. It's still hotly contested. There's only 1 point in it. These teams are doing a fantastic job of exhibiting the intensity and athleticism that have gotten them this far in the tournament.
Yeah, it's also great to see some physical cheers coming out. We love to see some body parts moving around and they're in time with their chants. Gives that a little bit of extra energy and excitement. Okay, so we'll have a look at who Credo is going to send out for a D-line here.
A little bit of confusion on the field as to whether or not this is a 4 women, 3 men point or a 4 men, 3 women point. Exhibiting good spirit by showing the signals, the 2 outstretched arms, looking to communicate what the gender split for this point should be. Sam Linitz with the disc, probably looking to line up a solid pull, as we know he can do, providing a little bit of last-minute guidance to the rest of his team as they finalize their defensive strategy for this possible downwind break.
Do you think, what do you think, Blair? Do you think they're going to come down with this match, or do you think they're going to use something else this time?
In terms of Credo defense?
Credo defense, yeah.
Considering that it really depends on what the wind is doing, and it's kind of hard to tell at the moment. The shirts on the field aren't moving a huge amount. It could very well be a relatively still point, and if that's the case, match is the way you want to play. From the size of that pull, doesn't look like there's a huge amount of wind. Although, we're not going to have an answer to that question anyway, as a couple of cold drops from Hot Slice to VJ give Credo that downwind opportunity that we've already talked about. Manang looking for something. Lenartz tries to jump it in. It's not quite there.
Lenartz is looking, hasn't quite found anything. And this time he's chosen not to... Oh, he's gone... Oh, okay, foul on the throw. Looks to be uncontested, so it's going back to Lenartz here. I did say there was an uncharacteristically poor round backhand that... was a little unusual. So they'll get another shot at it now.
Sam Lenartz looking for his nice cut for courting again.
Just popped into that open side. Just a little granddad backhand for you.
But again, he's waiting for that opportunity, and you can see courting slashing across and finding the separation now. And just once again, that bodily awareness, making sure that her point of contact is within the bounds of the end zone for a comfortable score. That's 6-4 now to Credo. But again, their work is cut out for them. They now have an upwind point. The wind advantage goes to Hot Slice of VJ, who will be looking to use that. You can see Alan's son taking the line. Man with a powerful forehand. And it could very well be the case that they'll just look to send one long shot for an easy, secure point.
Yeah, they have had a little bit of trouble keeping up with some of the Credo receivers, and they've actually forced some kind of unfavourable options when they've put their zone on. So it'll be interesting to see if they come down with a match or zone, if they play like a territory and defend style from Hot Slice.
So Manang looking to set up the pull. Kat Teo making some last-minute defensive adjustments. Just an absolute athlete who plays at least twice her own height. Manang with a massive pull though. Bit of roll again. Very good control. It's missed by the first VJ offense player. Sarah Chow picks it up. Finds Alan Sun again, winding up the big forehand. You can see the mark trying to stop him giving them that option. As Credo come down in what looks to be a zone.
Yeah, more of the junk from Credo. It's been working really well for them, and they haven't had reason to change it yet. One of the main kind of factors with the junk is kind of how you cycle your handlers. And it seems like Hot Slice, a big put up, but it's just gone straight to Manang sitting in the deep. No problems there. You comfortably received that one. Now he's just looking for another downfield continuation.
Guy on Lang on the mark, looking for it.
Oh, well snagged by Teo. That just snuck by the defender. McGuinness here on the sideline, looking to reset. Teo's keep finding an option. Manang's getting downfield. Had some power position, didn't find anything. We'll just reset and keep going. Credo seems to be smoothly moving through the middle here.
A lot of big fakes trying to keep that VJ defense out of the way.
So Aguilar on the sideline, but he's just going to reset it to Bourdon, and it's just going to keep moving. It's using every player on the team at this point. McGuinness resets early. Teo should reel that in.
Forehand. Again, just a little bit low, a little bit too close to the sideline. VJ with a nice opportunity now. As I predicted, it's always nice to have a sense that you know what you're talking about. Alan Sun had a massive forehand fired down the middle of the field. He's going to pick up the disc at the sideline. And it looks like the force is still forehand. That's the throw they're trying to give him.
That's unfortunate. That was just thrown slightly late. It might have been a call there, though, that stopped some of the players.
And yep, it looks like there was an injury call, which may have affected the play. That's Sarah Chow, who'll be leaving the field.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether that was called before or after, so it might be that the turnover stands. We'll just have to figure things out in a moment.
Menzies taking the place of Chow as they substitute for an injury. Now, when an injury is called, both teams are allowed to make a substitution. There is nothing requiring Credo to substitute one of their players, but quite often when an injury calls, you can pick a player who's maybe the most tired and give them an opportunity to leave the field, as subs cannot be made an ultimate until the conclusion of a point.
Yeah, it was rather unfortunate that Hot Slice turned it there, actually, because they'd done the perfect thing against the junk. They'd attacked forward from the handlers and filled the space. But here we find Manang again, resetting to Teo, and the same free undercutting movement from Credo.
A high backhand, it's a questionable option. We've seen a couple of those go to ground from that same throw. VJ taking possession now, Alan Sun in the center of the field with a massive forehand. Big movement, there it goes. Looking for Singh, Manang closing in, putting in just enough pressure, making sure that that disc does not get completed. The territory has been gained, but possession has been given back to Credo. We've seen how hungry they are. We know what they're able to do with the disc. There are only so many times that that big option can be taken before it really starts to punish VJ as Credo start to capitalize on what they're being given.
Yeah, it's unfortunate it hasn't quite found the receiver. I'm not sure if that's the throw he's after or if it's coming out not quite right, but it's at least giving them some threats down this end of the field. It gives a little bit of pressure to Credo, where if they do generate a turn just here, then it can be a quick score. Teo's looking to find something, just sneaks one through to Tiang in the middle there, so she's looking to reset and keep the flow moving. Oh, it's just lifted over Manang there, so he can't quite reel that one in. This is exactly what we're talking about, where Hot Slice gained some territory, and now they've generated a turn right on the goal line here. They've been pretty consistent at putting these in so far, so we'll see how they handle this one.
And some of the VJ defenders, they're quite tall. They're actually able to force some of the shorter Credo players to take high release options, which shouldn't go through.
A fantastic
Menzies finds Chong, I believe, for the score, bringing it back to a 1-point game.
Yeah, very nicely gathered, very nicely gathered.
Just a beautiful, hard, committed cut to an open front of the zone. A beautiful hard cut to the front of the zone, which gives an unimpeded access to a scoring disc. Five, six, only 1 point in it now. VJ to come back out on defense. The wind looks to have died down a lot. Some of those longer options will avail themselves to our players. And as we can see, spirits are high. They are smiling, even though it is a hotly contested game. We still get to see a cheeky dab from Kwok as he lines up or gets ready to pull. We're still seeing smiles.
Yeah, it's great to see after a big day of tough conditions. It's in the wind and the sun all day. It's exhausting stuff being out there. And you're running hard, and it's good to see everyone happy. Oh, this is just going to drift out. It's almost caught the namesake of the team on the sideline here. That actually would have been a slice of VJ.
There is a reason why there's supposed to be a 3-meter blank zone between the edge of the field and the nearest players. And seeing those discs come through, cutting hard out of bounds, kind of demonstrates why. Linus with a big centering forehand.
Straight through the middle as well. Yeah, Foster on the sideline here. She's looking calm with the disc, just playing as that reset roll. And Linus is going to put a big hammer over the top and finds it. Wow! That's a fantastic grab by Leong in the back. Just star jumps it and just snags it right at the top.
Hopefully we can see it again. The quick dishy backwards. Linus lines it up, sends a beautiful flat hammer.
Yes,
the look on Dylan Lai's face. It's really hard to play defense against a throw that good.
Yeah, no, we can see how happy Leong is with that result as well. And it's clear that the little dishy back to Linarts, they weren't expecting quite how quickly that was going to come out.
But really, when you've got a player with a throw like that in their holster, the kind of thing, you don't even warm up. You just see an opportunity in game and you just send it. And when you've got someone with a cannon like Linux has been displaying today, it's really, really easy to see how those kind of throws can dictate an offense. They can really determine how easy it can be for the downfield cutters to get into position and to find those discs in a scoring opportunity.
Yeah, it definitely opens up the field for your team when you know that that's a threat. It means people have to mark so many more options. If a player can get separation in any direction and be threatening, it's really hard as a defender.
So Linnets, just some last-minute defensive adjustments as he gives a signal for readiness as Credo line up to come down on defense one more time, looking to take half. It's currently 7-5. The first team to reach 8 points will take half, which gives us a few minutes of timeout as they are able to consolidate and discuss how the first half of the game went for them, make sure that they're all on the same page mentally and physically.
Yeah, we see another pull here. It hasn't quite made it to the opposition break mark, but it's made it a long way down the field relative to most of the ones we've seen this game. And so we've actually got a good opportunity here for Credo. Oh, he's just kept that in. So they've done well to keep that in, and they've given themselves some room to play with here. The handlers are looking a lot more free than the last few points we've seen, and the movement's paying off for them. They're making significant ground down here.
Lie on the far sideline, finds Kwok. Resets to Menzies. Catteo nearly takes a bite out of it. It's not quite enough. The cup's applying a lot of pressure. Menzies drops the disc back. Kwok's looking for someone. A high release flick to the far sideline, finds Lai. He loves eating those up, looking for something, finds Kwok again. Another high release.
Oh, this is so unfortunate. It was looking really good for them.
Really nice flow, really nice disc control, and it just so happens Priscilla Yu walking in front of the end zone, just shy of when that disc came down.
Yeah, it's great. We've seen the adjustments that actually need to be made against the junk. They're attacking forward from handlers and using that movement to kind of move those marks. Oh, great grab by McIntosh.
Massive
really
put from Linnert. Again, bringing out the cannon. McIntosh finds it midfield. Marked by Singh, manages to drop back to Linnert. Again, marked by Sinclair. It's not enough. Sends the disc forward one more time.
Lee's going to reset to Linnert, so it might just be more of the same, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if we... Yeah, there it goes again. Lee, down the line to Bourdon. Bourdon's probably going to recenter it here. They really like their swings. Oh, no, he finds a sneaky pass down the line. Look at that. It's a great cut from... is it Tay? Oh, it's Tiang, Natalie Tiang. Well done. Just finding a perfect little cut up the line there. That's how we like to finish the point.
Now those can be some difficult cuts to make and particularly difficult throws to connect with, but fantastic disc control from the Credo side. Has just enough outside edge on that disc that it curves out of the field and back in, which gives the offensive receiver a lot of opportunity to get position over any defender.
Yeah.
We've just gone 8-5. Credo are up by 3. They have taken half. My name is Blair Monroe. I'm here with
Toby Sutherland.
We will be back shortly with the second half of this, our showcase game for the Division 2 New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships in Christchurch.
Welcome back here, guys. We're joining us here at the New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2 2020. This is the second half of the final game of the day between Credo and Hot Slice of VJ. Credo currently in the lead 8-5 after taking some really good upwind points, and so now we've got to see how Hot Slice can make a comeback in the second half here.
Absolutely. So, Toby, we've got Alan's son with the disc looking to pull for Hot Slice of VJ's defensive line for the first point of the half. Massive wind-up.
Oh, that's a big roller. That's actually landing well past half, and it's actually going to roll a good way to the brick mark. It's good territory if they can actually capitalize and get a turn here.
Menang finding Lenartz in the middle of the field. Once again, putting a lot of work into the Credo offense. Goes over the top of the VJ defenders.
McGuinness to Jar. Jar on the sideline looking to just reset to middle. Swings over to the side. Menang's resetting and going, but it's just drifted out of Lenartz's hands there. Just a little too much bobble.
And Kwok just making sure that it securely stays out of Credo hands. VJ with an opportunity now. This is what they're looking for. We've got Dylan Lai walking towards the disc. Sarah Chow standing off as a potential reset option. Manages to thread through the cup. Chong with a cold drop. Credo with another opportunity now. Lenartz picks up, of course, is quickly establishing momentum.
It's just gone to ground there. Not quite sure what happened there. I'm sure we'll see. Someone's injured their foot there. It seems to have taken a tumble.
Kwok with a potential injury. It did look like Jar had to go to ground to keep that disc alive, but it maybe wasn't enough.
Yeah, well, it'd be a huge loss if Kwok was out. He's been doing a lot of work for Hot Slice of VJ offensively. We see, again, finding options. Now, this is an opportunity for them to score. They've got a big shooter here. Oh, he's just going to reset to the middle. All right, so Charles got the disc, and she's just looking around, find some options. Great fakes, actually, keeping the defense guessing.
Absolutely. Dylan Lai on the near sideline looking for him give and go. It's a bit out of range. Maybe looking to get that disc off before he'd really secured it. It comes through a bit loose, a bit wobbly. The wind pushes it out of field. Samuel Lenartz to pick up and bring it back infield. Marked by Kwok for Hot Slice of VJ. A big forehand with a little bit of edge. Samantha Courting again, just the fingertips. She's had some amazing success scoring points in this game and probably all of her others, but it's just not quite enough. As those fingertips reach for the disc just bobbles right out, finds turf and gives VJ another opportunity. Chow looks to be picking up Dylan Lai as a reset opportunity.
We see Credo continuing with the junk here. It's been working really well for them. We haven't quite seen Hot Slice find the answers. Generally, you need to attack forward with the handlers and kind of cycle back with the downfield players and kind of fill the gaps in the handler space. But so Charles done the right thing here, calling her swing out of that position and managed to find some movement across the field. So it's worked out well for them. If they can keep this going down the field, they're going to find some success because getting past that initial kind of difficulty. Oh, a great D by Foster running through. Gabby Foster, a really promising young player. Just
really intelligent positioning, managing to shut down the VJ's give and go. They chained together quite a few short 5-6 meter passes, but they pushed their luck a little bit. Foster was there to punish them. Lenartz finds Menang, marked out by Sun, but gets around, finds Lenartz again. Close enough to the end zone that he can put away just about anything.
Alright, so it's kept in there by Jar. He's probably just going to look to reset here. Give some of the other options in the middle of the field.
Menang and Lenartz again, the two cornerstones of the Credo offense right now. Nice forehand to the far side for McGuinness as the VJ defense positions itself again. Lenartz right on the zone. A nice lateral backhand for the score.
Cheeky little score. I'm not sure he was looking at that when he threw it. It might have just been a little no-look backhand there.
Once again, McGuinness forcing the defense to overcommit. Finds Lenartz again. The no-look out to the far side for Jar. As Credo go up 9-5 against their opponent's Hot Slice of VJ in this showcase game.
Yeah, apparently 3 points is enough of a buffer for a small amount of cheekiness on the goal line there. They haven't had too much trouble making their way through. The Hot Slice of VJ defense are not quite sure how to deal with the movement coming from the Credo handlers, but they have been doing pretty well on offense for themselves, so if they can actually secure themselves some solid turns, then they might be able to put some away. Menang again with the disc. It looks like they're signaling for a ladies' point, so there's going to be 4 ladies, 3 men on this line. It's a strong defensive line. A lot of the players on here, Tom Bourdain, Theo McIntosh, they generate a lot of turns. Really good with these run-through Ds and big athleticism.
Big smile for the camera from Menang. Knows he's having an absolute ripper of a game.
Yeah, it's all smiles over in the Credo camp at the moment. They had a huge energy coming out of their halftime cheer.
But currently, at 68 minutes in, it is still a potential race to 15. 4-point difference is not insurmountable at all for Hot Slicer VJ, so Credo need to make sure they keep their focus, otherwise they will let slip this lead that they have worked for so hard during the last few points of the game.
Yeah, we've actually seen bigger comebacks already today, so it's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities. But here we see Chow again, great fakes to kind of get things moving, and we see a great attack forward from Menzies, but it's just not quite connecting. Menang's able to get there in time and just kind of pressure that. Tia's picking up, and she's going to find on the sideline. Aguilar is going to go up.
Again, that high release backhand that we've kept seeing from Tio is questionable, but it comes off this time. A nice gainer up in the far sideline, right on the corner of the zone, looking for something. Looking to reset towards the center, maybe open up, shift the defense a little bit, give ourselves more of an opportunity to work.
Oh, that's wonderful play.
But a quick pinball possession, bouncing the disc off one of the receivers for a comfortable score.
Now, this is fantastic work. Menang kind of clears just enough that Tian can come across for a swing, and then perfect swing across to Menang, who can continue it. Yeah, I think Netherlands Tiang's done an excellent job there to fill in when the need was required, and then to continue that across for such an easy goal. It's a hockey assist, as they call it, the person that throws the pass before the person that throws the scoring pass. A great term in Frisbee, because it's often the person doing a lot of the work.
Absolutely. Credo up by 5 now to come out again on defense. Still anybody's game at the 70th minute. We have a potential extra 20 minutes of play.
Yeah, Credo are looking really energetic though. Hot Slice have got to find some solutions and fast if they want to claw this one back. Even just trading from here is not enough. They need to make some plays and make them soon.
Lennart's looking to take a break, but leaving Menang on the defensive line as one of their core handlers, the person who is going to sit and dictate what the offense does if they're able to generate a turn. One of the most confident throwers on that Credo team, sending the pull up. Huge air on that disc. Big, reaching the far side, a nice little bit of roll. That's a perfect pull. It's just at the back of the end zone. It has to be picked up within bounds.
It's a big travel, actually. It's interesting that no one's called that after his fake has just dragged his foot a long way.
Alanson manages to make a couple of passes to move the disc to the front of the zone. The Credo defense didn't get in position in time to really pressure, but there's a cold drop from Alanson, and uncharacteristic, right on the edge of the zone. A great opportunity for Credo again. We'll see who picks up.
Yeah, that's tough when you're trying to do a little give-go and you just don't quite focus on the throw enough before you do the get-go part. And just put it a little bit low. I think wasn't quite expecting their son.
Menang picking up, looking to close out this point, as we know he can. Has to drop back to find Foster on the far sideline.
Ooh, just bouncing off hands. Yeah, it was great work by Foster, actually. The movement to just duck in behind and then immediately fire a forehand down. It didn't quite connect. Ziwei Wong there just bounced off his hand. Looks like he's in a little bit of pain. It must have come off somewhere.
Seeing to pick up in the coffin corner, as we've come to call it. Manages to break around McGuinness. A nice, comfortable gainer to Foster.
Yeah, I'd like to see them just pause for a second and consolidate these gains. Lai being the cool, calm, collected head there. That's really fantastic to see.
Looks for Alan. Alan's son, who's lining up a forehand. Has to holster it to find Singh. Keeping the stall count low, prioritizing possession over gains, sends the forehands anyway. There's Lai once again, the cool head. A nice break backhand to Chong, who looks back to find Sun again.
Yeah, the reset's coming a lot easier now. I'm not quite sure if it's just a change of handlers that have caused it, or if Credo are finally getting a little bit tired, but the junk look is different to before. It's not quite the same pressure that we were seeing earlier, and Hot Slice are relishing in it. They're finding all this movement they weren't having earlier, and it's paying off for them.
Off the hands of VJ.
Oh, Leon putting deep, and it's going to find it. It's Lawson picking it up in the deep. It's just snaked an inattentive moment from Hot Slice, and he's found a really fantastic gainer.
Immediate reset to Menang. It's very, very clear who the Credo offense centers around. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing in terms of disc skills and disc confidence, but it can create opportunities for the defense to really pressure those confident throwers and force the less confident throwers, those athletic players who do a lot of the catching and receiving, to force them to make some of those plays, and that can be a great opportunity to generate turns. Lai on the far sideline swings the disc across to Singh for a high flick. Sun pulls it, sends the big shot. You could hear the fingers touching disc, but it's not enough.
Oh, that is heartbreak. That is heartbreak.
Chen
just
with
wanted
the
to go
grab.
quick. Yeah, just wanted to go fast.
And then immediately tries to reset to Chong, but it's not quite enough. A long shot from Credo again, but the disc finds turf. It's almost as if the last couple of possessions just hadn't happened. We are back in the VJ red zone.
Yeah, square one for Hot Slice. It's okay though. They were making some great gains there. I think the kind of slightly softer pressure on the handlers is just giving them that little bit of breathing room they needed to make some movement happen.
Lai finding Sun on the near sideline, marked out by Lawson, enough to slow him down, hasn't fired off that big forehand that he's known for, has to instead swing to the far sideline, finding Chong with a backhand. Back to Sun centering the disc, trying to chip through.
Yeah, Wong just gets an easy D there. It's kind of thrown to him, just slightly misthrown I think there. He was going for that, like, sliding it through the middle kind of shot, and it didn't quite make it. Menang here with a hurried forehand. Oh, look at that. 3 Credo players on the break side.
Same team, guys.
McGuinness reels it in.
A beautiful score, taking the scoreboard to 11-5 in favor of Credo. High release, rapid flick. McGuinness finds it.
a little bit of confusion and happiness that it all worked out in the end there. A little celebration dance coming from Tao McGuinness. Yeah, they're having a great time out here.
And chalk up another one for Menang in terms of assists. Between Menang and Linitz, it's probably the majority, if not all, of the Credo scoreline thus far.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of them. I remember Bourdain stuck one in, but...
Yeah, if VJ are looking to pull this match back, they're really going to need to do something to stop the offensive pressure that Menang and Linitz are able to put on. They might sort of try what's called an assassin or a shooter play, where they come through in a zone but have those really, really aggressive throwers just marked out completely by the toughest defensive player they've got. But Credo will be coming down on defense in this instance anyway.
Yeah, they definitely are having trouble finding solutions to shutting down Menang and Linus. They're definitely shooting freely. It's possible some sort of a zone look would work better, but they also haven't had too much trouble with the zones. Now the wind's actually died right down.
So as the sun sets and the earth cools, it takes away some of that difference in wind pressure that's generated the horrific winds that we've seen teams battling against for the last few games of our day. Sarah Chow to pick up the disc for Hot Slice of VJ, looking to break through that cup again. Menzies making a nice cut, but looked off, finds Singh on the reset, almost directly backwards. Guy on Lang on the far side with a massive forehand.
That's a gorgeous shot. The way it's set up, it's just slightly misread there. They didn't quite anticipate how long that was going to hang, but that came around beautifully, just set around. It's unfortunate it didn't work out.
Sinclair pressured just enough by his opposing player that he had to go early to secure the best opportunity of getting it, and it was unfortunately too early. The disc sailing over his head, touching ground and giving position back to Credo with a nice opportunity to get yet another break and widening up that scoreline, taking them that much closer to victory.
Yeah, Hot Slice are going to have to fire up and deep. Oh, they've been given a freebie though. Let's see if they can convert it. They've just swung immediately. It would be nice to see it come back to the middle to set up for an offense. Yeah, here we go. So we might see some solid end zone attacking from the middle here.
Singh trying to shift the defense. Menzies overruns it. Doesn't get a hand to it. The disc finds ground, but again, it's a great defensive opportunity for Hot Slice of VJ. They're right in the corner of their end zone, Credo are. The wind is starting to pick up slightly. This is a great opportunity to try and apply a lot of pressure and force an error, maybe forcing the disc out of bounds on this throw. It doesn't come through. Credo maintain possession. They start centering the disc. They start working it back infield. Singh looking to stop lateral movement. Guy on Lang with a run through makes possession go back to VJ.
Yeah, Aguilar can't quite keep a hold of that one. It's unclear if it just bounced off him or if that was just D'd outright. But yeah, it's a great opportunity again. They've got to be careful because that little gust of cold wind was pushing Disc down. Oh, what a snag.
Beautiful forehand with just a little bit of edge curving back in. Guy on Lang taking to the ground to make sure that that score comes off. 6-11 now. A beautiful scoreline. Still in favor of Credo, but narrowing just slightly with some phenomenal performance from Hot Slicer VJ.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to see some more of that. Absolutely. They need to keep this pressure on. They've generated a little excitement here, a little bit of energy, and they've got to harness it and funnel it into this next point because they've got a big D point here. They've got to keep this momentum going. If they let any more get away on them, I don't think they're going to make it before Credo hits that 15.
Yeah, we've only got another 11 minutes before we hit soft cap. Now, that is an opportunity potentially, especially if Hot Slicer VJ managed to keep on that pressure and close that 5-point gap. It means they don't have to necessarily go all the way to 15 points. So there is still an opportunity for Hot Slicer VJ to pull off a bit of a second half upset. Credo looking to send down some of their best offenders. We can see Linarts and Manang on the line, those two fantastic Credo handlers who are going to look to put the nail in the Hot Slicer VJ coffin and just put those chances of a Hot Slicer VJ victory to bed.
Yeah, it's a really excellent offensive line they've put on here. They know what they're doing. They know their team. I think it's likely that we're going to see some really excellent movement from those same key players, and hopefully they'll just put another one in.
Alan Sun with a forehand pull. It's uncharacteristic for the Ultimate Committee at large, but certainly not for him. A little bit of a roll. Linarts gets the disc centered, marked by Lai, but it's not enough. The disc goes up. A huge shot to Manang.
Beautifully weighted.
Comfortable catch.
Beautifully weighted by Linarts. Just had just enough angle on the disc to slow it down for Manang to get there in time. Manang, usually handling, clearly caught out his defender and just took off deep, and he's been rewarded with a beautiful goal. He's chuffed.
The old dump truck play almost, people cutting massive deep cuts from the handler space, looking to just make a huge amount of gain upfield, and you really do love to see it. One of those sort of 2 or 3 pass offenses that really highlight what a team with the offensive capabilities of this Credo line are capable of doing when the conditions are favorable for them. They've widened the score now. They've called a timeout. Looks to have called a timeout.
Timeout from Credo, yeah. It seems like they just want to really wrap this one up. I think this is a timeout where they're harnessing energy, just building on what they've got going so far. They just want to come out and crush all the defensive points remaining. This was a similar chat to what they had at halftime, and they've clearly carried that on and done exactly that.
Absolutely. So they've managed to pull through a 6-point lead thus far. They took half. They've widened that score up for them. They're sitting in a relatively comfortable position, but as we've said, it's not over until the last point of the game is scored. They could whip through the next 3, or they could let this energy slip and have Hot Slicer VJ narrow that gap and take them to soft cap. They do not want that. Winning the last game of a day isn't enough. You often want to win it on your own terms. And Credo are a team who are definitely able to pull that off. You can see from their smiling faces that they've still got quite a lot of energy left in the tank. They've got quite a lot of athleticism and skill that they're putting on display on the field. But most importantly, it's obvious that their spirits are high.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're vibing, when you're feeling it, it all goes well. All teams will be able to tell you this. All the teams that are out there succeeding. It's when you're really in the groove, enjoying playing with your teammates, and just out there to play good ultimate, not just striving for that win. It's a beautiful thing to see. We're seeing some great ultimate tonight.
And the Hot Slicer VJ huddle now. Perhaps a different energy, a lot more subdued. Still a couple of smiles and some chats, but you can see that there's quite a tight huddle. Heads are a little bit down. They're trying to regain that focus that have seen them make some very solid breaks and very solid offensive holds. But the main benefit for Hot Slicer VJ at this point is to try and get themselves psyched up, trying to rev those engines, get a bit more energy. Now, whether or not that will have done the trick remains to be seen. There is a 6-point window for them to try and close now as they come out on offense.
Yeah, still some happy faces, so regardless of what the result is, it's good to see that everyone's having a good time out here. And I think they can all go home happy that they've played some good ultimate. See Bourdon here with the disc, so it looks like he'll be taking a pull this time. And the wind's further declined even, so it looks like we might see some nice big pulls coming out. It's an excellent defensive line. Lee's an absolute weapon on defense. Bourdon's an absolute weapon on defense, so we'll see if we get some run through Ds here.
Cat here looking to make sure that everyone stays hyped before the disc goes up. A signal given by the Credo players, returned by the VJ, impending offense.
Nicely
Low
done.
pull, not a huge amount of hang time, touches down but gives Credo's defensive line plenty of time to pressure the first throw of the point.
Yeah, it does seem like the pullings remained conservative even as the wind dropped. I think a lot of people aren't taking anything ambitious because they're worried about it.
Menzies not able to get anything off, finds a reset in Lai. Over the top, finds Lang right on the end of the zone, just waiting for somebody, anyone. Miscommunication goes right behind the hands of Kwok. It's Credo with a nice opportunity, a high release forehand going way up. Menzies to bring it down, a second opportunity to catch for Credo, but it's missed.
McIntosh is off his feet half the time, it seems. He's had some fantastic bids this game.
McGuinness marking out Lai. Resetting to Menzies. Big hammer fake, looking to shift the mark. Finding Lai as the Credo defensive line push them back.
I'd love to see some attacking forward from these handlers, like the swing and then attacking forward. Like this move from Lai, oh, that's unfortunate. He's just tipped it but landed on the player.
A very impressive leap, but perhaps not as aware of his other sports athletes as he could have been.
You can see McInnes here looking appropriately shocked. There's a discussion happening.
Kwok looks to be injury-free, if nothing else.
A lot of cheers, a lot of smiles happening on the field. It's all been amicably resolved. It's fantastic to see.
And it looks like VJ will retain possession of the disc. So, indicating that the foul would have interfered with Kwok's ability to receive that and create a completion. But Cat Teo applying just enough pressure to Menzies to make sure that that next throw goes to ground.
It's wide open.
Finds Courting on the far sideline.
Might be done heading for the end zone. No, it just looked off free-centered. I like this approach. Taking it calm, slow and steady. Ooh.
So an impressive bit to keep the disc alive. We could hear Dylan Lai saying it was out, but you caught it. And so they've checked that disc back in.
It's just resetting to the middle here. Jiang has the disc, swinging to Teo.
Far sideline now. Menzies trying to apply a lot of defensive pressure. Is it going to be enough? Big fakes, not shifting.
They're just resetting here, looking for that 100% option. And it looks like, oh, not quite in, but Bourdon snags it. He's just waiting for that other good option. Oh!
Chong with a nice, powerful defensive block.
Yeah, just leaving her defender for a moment, reading the play. Excellent read. Manages to intercept that one, getting herself a D.
Dylan Lai again, one of the great handlers from the VJ line. Backhand to Kwok on the near sideline, looking for something. McInnes applying pressure.
Yeah, when the swing goes, I'd like to see these handlers follow that swing and actually attack forward and move the marks around.
Huge forehand to Priscilla Yu on the far sideline now. Just casually waiting for the rest of the team to catch up. She knew where she needed to be. Menzies looking for something. Far sideline, trying to shift the mark, not enough,
That's
getting bites from the
cut.
other defenders.
Ooh.
Just outside the hands of the frog splashing Lai, going for absolutely everything, trying to keep it alive, and it just floats beyond his fingertips, giving Credo another opportunity to widen that scoreline. Massive backhand, Huck goes up.
Oh, great read by McInnes as well. She's just seen exactly how that's floating in. She's just judged it great. Oh, Courting just on the goal line now, just needs to convert. Just gone over Bourdon. Can he regather? Not quite. Just slipped on the second attempt there. It's unfortunate.
beautiful composure trying to regain position to attack that disc after the first attempt had failed. But not quite enough. Now VJ with an opportunity on the far side line as we're feeling a little bit of wind picking up. 2 minutes left until our soft cap goes. Dylan Lai to pick up disc for VJ on the far sideline, marked by Kat Teo. Big forehand, we love to see it.
Oh, almost connecting, almost connecting. It was great. He's obviously identified that a player wasn't being marked that tightly, and the option was there. It was just a tight kind of gap to get it into. And with the fatigue and the slightly trying conditions with the wind picking up just slightly again, it's hard to get that narrow window.
Priscilla Yu, even with a taped up knee, managing to be absolutely unmarked in the deep zone, just overthrown slightly, stopping her pulling down one more score and narrowing that window.
Yeah, Seppo done picking up here again. He's in that corner that everyone dislikes being in. It's tough to throw out of here. There's not too many options that come out. Yeah, you see shots like this where it's hotly contested.
Absolutely beautiful defensive pressure. I think Guyon Lang might have got a tip to it.
Nice.
But Credo respond with one of their own.
Yeah, we're
Quick
just a minute
movement
from soft cap here, so it's really pressure's on for Hot Slice to get some work done, because otherwise Credo's going to be playing to a really, really small total.
Chong not even having to move, just reaching out an outstretched hand for the D. She wasn't invisible, but she also wasn't seen. Kwok to pick up, close to the red zone. Dylan Lai there, waiting for something, but a pick's been called.
Signaled, yeah. It was quite early in the play, actually. It looks like it will go back to the middle. You can see that muscle man pose with the arms up out the side, which indicates that a pick has been called. A pick is just when a player has blocked you from being able to continue following your person you're marking. Just a discussion over the stall count here, and then it'll be tapped in momentarily. Menzies wide open here. She's looking for that finishing shot. Thinks again.
A lot of pressure from McGuinness. Resets to Kwok, but finds Chong comfortably unmarked in the end zone, bringing it back to 7-12.
Yeah, an excellent pass to the middle just to finish it. So that's usually the best option when you don't see anything eventuating. Get that movement, get that change of angles, and bang.
Now, if the soft cap has gone, that means this is now a race to 13. With the score 12-7, we add 1 to the highest score, which in this case would be Credo's 12, and it is a race to that number. Credo coming out on offense now. An efficient point and an offensive hold here wins them the game. Or we see 6 back-to-back breaks by Hot Slice of VJ for an upset the likes of which has not been seen in this tournament yet.
It would be an incredible achievement. It's unclear to me whether or not the soft cap was announced to the players at the time that our clock ticked over here, so it's possible we see it actually called after this point. We'll have to confirm, but currently it's looking likely that Credo are far enough ahead that it shouldn't affect the outcome at least. It might just be confusion over totals.
Well, until that has been determined, the players will just be treating every point as though it is the first, bringing out the kind of intensity that they have had since the beginning of the game.
Oh, a forehand grip here. We can see another forehand pull might be coming out. The last one did go quite far. We'll see if he can match the rest of the backhand pulls we've been seeing. Oh, it's big, it's big.
A very impressive forehand from Alan Sun, and a little bit of roll. It's going to just slip past Credo's offense, but Manang finds Linnets. He wants to line up something big to close this one out. Finds Foster on the far sideline. Resets to Linnets, who's currently looking to be working around a zone.
Tries to find someone through a lot of defenders there.
McGuinness doesn't manage to pull that one down. There's just a little bit of pressure from Chow. Disc goes to turf. VJ now to set up Menzies and Chow in the handler space.
Oh,
big backhand just off Singh's fingertips. It's a turn again. Credo with an opportunity. Linnets to pick up. No surprises there. Alan Sun on the mark. Big wings. Looking to stop something. Recenters to Foster. Big backhand fake to shift the defense. They have come down in a zone. They're not marking as aggressively against the person. They're looking to take away spatial opportunities.
Yeah, Ty Lawson's come back just to fill in for the handlers. It got a little messy there at the back. And oh, an excellent shot through the middle by Foster. Finds Manang, who's got a wide open shot to the end zone here. McGuinness has just got to, just drifts out at the end there. Oh, it all looked so good. It's just, unfortunately, just fading out at the end.
Great offensive intent. The execution might not have been there. Just a couple of little miscommunications, a couple of little misconnections. Looks like there's some on-field communication.
Call is made, but unsure what the call is exactly. It seems the disc is being walked up regardless. Might have just been a clarification discussion.
Sarah Chow establishing a pivot foot in the coffin corner, looking for something. Credo defense getting very, very busy, but manages to get one through.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, this junk from Credo, this kind of like slightly mismatched defense is really giving Hot Slice some problems. They haven't managed to solve it yet this game, and it's led to this current scoreline. It looks like Credo might be able to put this one in this close.
Yeah. A beautiful, all the way around, massive reverse pivot from Sam Lennartz for the score. Yeah, we're going to get another look at this.
McGuinness has done an excellent job peeling off the the backwards turn. Yeah, normally people step across the front when they do that sort of pivot, but Sam's decided to step around the back, and it looks like soft cap might not have been called in time. We have Hot Slice of VJ players lining up, so it looks like there might actually be one more point in this game. Looks like the soft cap was announced to the players 1 point, just slightly after we had actually seen it on the timer here. So it looks like it'll be a game to 14 instead.
McGuinness mugging it for the camera. Not satisfied with scoring a point that takes her team one step closer to victory. Decides to rub it in with a bit of cheeky monkey face.
Relish the spotlight. She's been having a great game, actually. Constantly involved in the play. Must be getting free and available.
Manang with the pull as this Credo sends out what could very well be their final defensive line for the game.
Yeah, it's a dangerous defensive line for sure. We've seen Lee playing the middle marking position on the handlers, and he's been doing a fantastic job putting a lot of pressure on. The Hot Slice handlers and throwers have to really figure out how to move around them because there's such a large wingspan.
In our handler space, we're seeing Menzies, Kwok, and Lang. Massive forehand goes up a little bit too much edge, finds turf. Credo with a nice opportunity to finish the game off.
McIntosh, he's been having a fantastic game. Some excellent defensive pressure, causing a lot of turns for Credo.
Manang looking to bring the disc back in. At that inside corner, a great opportunity again. Guy on Lang on the mark. Alan Sun sitting in that reset space trying to take away some of the throwing options that Manang, we know he has available.
So we'll see a clear and a fill here. Yep, there we come. Teo into the middle just to open up some options on the other side of the field. Credo's had no problem getting some free undercuts here. Oh, this one's just tipped over the top and now, returned right back.
Alan Sun trying to mark out, trying to save this dream, but a high shot. Kordig pulls it down as only she can. Backhand up the far sideline, finds Teo.
Some freedom on the far side, but I'm not sure Teo quite saw McIntosh, and instead it's gone to ground just before Manang can get there.
Hot Slice of VJ now, Guy on Lang. Massive backhand, what a rip. Goes the full length of the field. Alan Sun keeps it in.
Just towed it in. Everyone's chasing down now to try and get in position as he walks it back.
Looks to have been kept in field.
Unfortunately, we just missed that on the camera, but looks like that's a goal. So instead, we'll be having another point here with Hot Slice getting a defensive point.
Credo now having to send out an offensive line to see if they can consolidate one more point We can see Linarts and Manang both taking the line, those two power handlers who've really defined what Credo Ultimate looks like today.
Yeah, it's been a highly effective O-line actually, and I'm sure we'll see the same thing again. We've got some real threats out there. Fed Leong, Lawson's running back out. Linarts and Manang, who have both had such chemistry in this game. Lady signalled with the arms out to the side.
Lai, Kwok, Topping, Yu, Chow, Singh and Santillion by the looks to take the defensive line for VJ for what Credo hope will be the last point of this game, and what for VJ might very well be just the first of many as they make a comeback.
Yeah, we're fast approaching hard cap here, so Hot Slice really have to make some moves.
A beautiful roller pull, kicked over by Manang. Linarts to pick up.
Oh, he steps it back as well, just to make sure there was no extra ground gained on that.
He's in the position that he wants to be. A nice inside forehand finds McGuinness.
Yeah, involved again. He's constantly in the play. Oh, Cording was very free. Sam just wasn't quite ready for the throw there. Oh, what a snag by Lawson. He just immediately
massive backhand out of position, but Manang takes it for the score. Manang, the man who has defined and done so much work for Credo, scoring goodness knows how many of their points from a handler's perspective. We saw him streak deep on one occasion to come out of nowhere and pull a point down for Credo, and he's done the same to close out the game. What an absolute blinder. You keep smiling, sir. You've definitely earned it. 10 minutes nearly after soft cap, Credo come down with the victory to close out our showcase game.
That's well deserved, well deserved. The whole team, fantastic job by everyone. They all deserve smiles on their faces. Excellent display of ultimate out here. And Hot Slice put in a really good good showing as well. There's just some really slight execution errors that kept them from it. But as we see, everyone's had a good time. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so that brings us to a close of day one, the 21st of Throwvember, the Orthrotahi and Ortotahi, day one of the New Zealand Mixed Ultimate Championships Division 2 2020. My name is Blair Monroe.
Mine's Toby Sutherland.
And we'll see you tomorrow.